What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Buzz with your boys, Brandon and Jacob. Listen, a lot of sports going on now. We're going to get right into it. The MLB World Series is taking place. We got the Blue Jays and the Dodgers. Brandon's got they do it a little bit differently. They go, Blue Jays are home for the first two games. Then the Dodgers got the next three, and then it goes 6 and 7. So
home for the Blue Jays. 6-7 home for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different of a format for the people that may not be, familiar with the format. So it's a lot of travel to a degree. I mean, we're going from LA to Toronto, but this is Toronto's first time in the World Series, I think, in like 35 years.
Since like the 70s?
So this is a big deal for the Blue Jays. The Dodgers obviously won the World Series last year. Ohtani's playing out of his mind. I don't know how I feel how this series is going to go because the Blue Jays have been playing lights out as well. So I think I would like to say that it should be a good World Series, but you just never know.
I mean, I think it's going to be a good World Series. I mean, with any Game 7 in a championship round, I hope it goes 7 games. I think everybody always hopes in this kind of format you always get Game 6, Game 7. Winner take all be great because that's what we kind of get in football.
But I guess
we get it in colleges, winner take all.
For the Blue Jays, I mean, you're going against the defending champs, not to dwell too much. But if you're the Dodgers, man, Ohtani, they go back to back, man. I mean, starting to have some serious conversations about Ohtani and where he lies in baseball history. I mean, you're already having those conversations. I just want to say, I mean, when you're multiple strikeouts, 3 home runs in a game, I mean, like Ohtani, I mean, you can't deny the greatness and the fact that there's people out there that talk about how you're not impressed. I don't know how you can't be impressed with that. He's playing both ways. I get that it's unprecedented to see a guy that can do it both ways, but we're in a different era, I guess you could say, or we got new players coming in that can do it on both sides of the spectrum. They can hit, play, you know what I'm saying? So
we've never seen anybody like Ohtani in this recent modern era that is an elite hitter, elite home run hitter, elite base runner, all while having, I think, 3 to 4 now Tommy John surgeries, shoulder surgeries, total, like 4 surgeries total on his throwing arm, and it's still coming out as an elite pitcher.
Yeah.
No matter where you're kind of trying to fit him out on that. But if the Dodgers do win, it'll be the first back-to-back World Series champs since 2000.
25 plus years in the making. So a lot of things riding on this. You got history for Toronto, who hasn't been there in well over in our lifetime. Because
some of us aren't that old.
Some, and then you got the Dodgers who won it last year and trying to go back to back, which, like you heard Brandon said, hasn't been done since 2000. So a lot of riding. I'm hoping for a good series, but let us know what you guys think. Moving on to some college football here. The one thing about college football right now that is unprecedented is it's bounty hunting season on head coaches. That's all I do know. Florida State head coach gets fired after winning his game. He wins the game. He gets booed off the field after winning the game. Following day, you fired. What? And then the Colorado State head coach, he was fired as well. And I think in totality, this college football season, I think we're up to like 8 college football coaches that have been fired. I mean, obviously, some are not the biggest names. Obviously, the biggest name that's been fired this college football season is James Franklin, with the second largest buyout in college football history. But it's just like, at the same time, Brandon, you knew what you had coming in training camp. And you knew what you were going to be to a degree going into the season. And then to fire your head coach 5 to 7 weeks into the season, I don't know what good that really does when you knew what you were going to have and then you're upset with how you're performing. Listen, it's very simple how to get your team better. You got to spend the money. That's how it works. You better go out there and find the money. I don't know what to tell. Colorado State, for example. Let me get it right here. He's right here. He's 2-5 this year. Jay Novell was the head coach. They were 2-5 this year. He's gone 18-26 in the 4 years he's been there. So little under 500. But it's you're Colorado State. What did you think you were going to be is my question.
Well, unfortunately for him, you have Colorado and you have Dion there, primetime there. So you are kind of being diminished a little bit by Colorado and all the popularity and all the media coverage that Colorado is getting. So I think Colorado State, by firing him, is hoping to hopefully bring in somebody of a higher value.
And then you have Florida, who fired Billy, and he was 3-4. Yes, I get it's Florida, and you have big expectations, but it's like, again, you knew what you were going to be when training camp started. You knew it wasn't going to be great. You were trying to figure it out.
Well, I'm confused on why you're firing them with a 3-4 season. Like you're 3-4, you're 3 games away
from a bowl game.
So I'm really kind of confused. And like you said, nobody
spend the money. Like if you want to be good, you got to spend.
I'm confused on what their expectations were. Like the expectations were not the playoffs. You weren't making the playoffs. You weren't making the Natty.
No.
I thought your expectation was to be competitive, but I guess maybe their expectation was a little bit differently. But honestly, once James Franklin got fired from Penn State and he was there since like 2015 or whatever, 2013. Once he got fired, it was pretty much open the floodgates for everybody else to get fired.
It's just like I jokingly say, like, for guys, like, women have OF where they can make a shit ton of money. For guys, be a head coach, because that's where you can go get the bag, dog. They'll pay you to be the head coach, and then they'll pay your ass to leave and go home. So it's like, potato, but it's like, damn, dude, like, I don't know what you're expecting your organization to be when you knew what you were going to be. And if you want to be better, you have to spend the money. So if you're not willing to spend, then deal with what you got that you're dealing with.
I just didn't think the Billy Napier's firing from Florida made much sense.
Get fired after a win? It's crazy.
Get fired after you win is crazy, but 3-4, and like you clearly know after 7 games in that you potentially could be bowl bound. I figured that'd be kind of like what you're aiming for, and you're wanting to move on from him in the off season. But I guess recruiting is a little bit different. You're halfway through the season. You got the transfer portal coming up very quickly,
which is
about 5-6 weeks.
Don't like it, but that's how it is. So
I guess moving on from coaches technically halfway through a season makes sense, considering halfway through a season the portal is almost there. Yeah. So getting the coach potential that you're going to have for the next season in place, or internally anyways, kind of helps.
So this next topic is still college football, but it's going to lead us into our next topic that we're going to probably spend a little bit of time on, not too much, but we're going to spend time. So the next biggest thing that's going on in college sports, which is kind of funny, is that it finally got approved. We didn't talk about this last week because we wanted to get a little bit more information and see where this was going to go, but college athletes are now allowed to bet on pro sports. So all current NCAA athletes will be allowed to bet on professional sports beginning November 1st. The NCAA Division II and Division III councils approved the new rules to allow current college athletes to bet on professional sports. The NCAA has already said it will allow Division I athletes to do so. They will not be permitted to bet on NCAA sports. We'll see how that works out, with everything else that we're going to lead into our next conversation. But the news just came hours before the FBA announced a sweeping investigation into illegal betting into the NBA games, which leads us into our next topic. Before we get to the NBA, how do you feel about college athletes now allowed to bet on pro sports?
Well, there's not a sport that they're in. They're not competing in it. They're still not allowed to bet on their own sport, which is rightfully so.
Yes.
And as more news that comes out about people getting caught cheating, the system via gambling with the sport that they're currently playing in, you get caught. It's there. Get caught.
We want to make it clear, you're going to get caught.
You're going to get caught. You might get away with it for a little bit, but you will get caught.
Even if you think you're getting away with it, I promise you're not getting away with it.
You have to put so much of your information out there, and eventually somebody that's always hitting or always making big chunks,
they're going to find out.
They're going to be starting to watch.
You're going to get flagged. It's just the way it is.
But I'm here for college athletes that are being allowed. I didn't know they weren't allowed to. College athletes weren't allowed to.
Yeah, that was. I'll give you that.
I didn't know that was not allowed because I'm not playing professional. I'm a college athlete, which kind of weird. Like say I'm a track or row or whatever. What you saying? I can't bet on like baseball, basketball, or football. That's a pro sport. Like that's not my sport.
Yeah.
But I'm here for it. I think it's okay. And as it goes to show again, like you're running, like they know who's betting what. Even if you're not the one signed into the device, they're going to start tracking them and figuring out why. How come you're always hitting
Really,
on
the crazy
certain
part
things?
is the holdup to allow this to happen was Division Two and Division Three had to allow this to happen. They've all agreed. So now college sports from Division One, Division Two, and Division Three can now bet on pro sports, just not on college sports. Which again, someone out there is going to try to do it. They're going to get you, like you said, you're going to get caught. Like it does not matter how you try to slice it, whose account you're trying to let someone use. If you're hitting, you're going to get flagged. It's just the way it is. Like it's the way the gambling world is working, and we're treated because everything you can gamble on now. Like let's keep it about gambling is the height of America right now. Like
Yeah.
is it an addiction? Yes. Is everybody doing it? Yes. So just be careful. Like I said, I'm with you. I did not know that they could not do that. That was news to me. We didn't speak on it because we wanted just a little bit more information, and we got it. But that leads us into the next topic. So the NBA season is back. NBA season opened on Tuesday, October 21st. And it's been very unfortunate that the NBA season has started and it's been completely overshadowed because we've had some great performances already in the 3 days that the NBA season has
Well, it's
tipped
also back on the college
off.
thing
Go
real
for it.
quick. Even like the staff, so the coaching staff can also bet on pro
Oh, okay.
sports. I think that was a bigger part
There
of
we
that.
go. That's
'cause
very interesting.
That's
That's not in the information that I read. So that is why we got Brandon. See, that's why he's here. See,
that's what I
everyone's
do.
got their role here.
So like, I mean, to me that makes it a bit more intriguing because you have a lot of coaches that can bet now on pro sports that they may or may not have coached in or are looking to try to take
Kind of
a
have
jump to
some
the next
insider
level.
information in to a degree.
To
To a degree, not speaking anything out there, but
I mean,
it's like
it's very possible to me. Like the coaching community is a very tight knit group. So you're
yes,
saying that you don't talk. You mean like people come and they recruit your players. You're going to talk, and you might
yep,
get a little snippet of information here and or there. And I'm not saying they're going to get anything that's going to like sway a bet or this
no,
way or
but
the other. But I mean, it's kind of interesting that the staff is also eligible to bet on pro sports now.
that's very interesting because that is not in there. So that's from top to bottom. Coaches, players, D1 to D3, coaches across the board can bet on pro sports, just not college sports. But like I was saying, the NBA season is underway. Started October 21st. We've had some great individual performances, and before we really get into them, it's been very overshadowed with the gambling sweeping that took place in the NBA, where Terry Rozier, who is a current NBA player, was arrested. A Chauncey Billups, head coach of the Portland Trailblazers, was arrested, and Damian Jones, who is a assistant coach / shooting coach, was arrested as well. Um, Terry Rozier was basically arrested for helping family and friends make millions of dollars by betting the under on him, not meeting whatever he was going to get, faking an injury, coming out, then winning millions of dollars, and being an idiot and having the money delivered to your goddamn house. So that probably didn't help. Like, I don't know what you thought there. Chauncey Billups, he's got some poker gambling issues tied to the Italian mafia, and they're using X-ray vision. They're using
Those weird like lenses you put in your eyes or
sunglasses,
glasses.
where he's basically just using his fame to bring in. Basically, he was robbing his friends. Tell him, hey, come play poker at this place right here, and his friends were losing their money. And then Damian Jones, he was basically using his position as a coach to tell people for an example, like LeBron or AD's not going to play tonight, bet the under, they're not going to get it, or stuff like that. So this is not good for the NBA. This is very bad. As far as we know, Chauncey Billups is back at home. I don't know if he had to put anything up, but Terry Rozier, he had to give up his house in Florida, $6 million in property. He had to give up his passport and stuff like that. What do you make of this? But like, where do you like gambling is the hype, but like,
Well, I mean,
why?
some of this seems kind of like an addiction for me. It kind of sounds like it's a little bit of addiction, and I mean, I have a problem that we really care about the mafia and poker and gambling on that aspect of it. Because like, unless like this is leading to something bigger of like you're trying to get some mafia member here in the United States, I'm not really confused
That's
on why
fair.
we really care about
That
what
aspect with
what people
Chauncey,
are doing like
yeah,
in their own homes gambling.
like the
Everybody's
Gilbert
played
Arenas
poker.
situation, like where
Like
you're
like
just
why do we care? Like yeah, like he made friends with some mafia members unintentionally or intentionally. I don't know, but then they used him to bring in famous people that have money. Mafia people have money. I want to play with people that have money. So whether or not there's shooting going on there, I don't know. It's not like it's regulated. It's not like it's a casino. So again, who
yeah.
really cares if there was cheating going on there or not? You're assuming hopefully there was no cheating going on. I guess if you're entering something like that, but that part of it, I really don't care. It's weird to me that we care so
Okay.
much because honestly,
That has nothing to
that
affect the
has
integrity of the game.
of the game has nothing to do with
Yes.
it. But like Tory Rozier, like, he done.
Yeah,
Like you're
you're
done.
done.
The
You're
proof's out
done.
there that
We
you
got video. They showed the game. Like they
like
showed the game. You scored a
you're
bucket and you walk down. You just grab your ankle out of thin air.
he's done. But what I kind of want to get at is about around the 80s and 90s with Michael Jordan.
The gambling, yeah.
He gambled, and it was well known that he gambled on every
Every fail
little
thing.
thing, every little sport, every shot, golf. I mean, he was gambling with everybody and anybody, and like I'm just saying, if he was in today's era, boy, he'd be fucked.
He'd be in big
He'd be
trouble.
big
He'd be in
fucked
big trouble.
because he's addicted to
That's
gambling.
why
He
there's
was,
always been that speculation out there.
but he also gambled with the mafia.
Yes, there's been those speculations out there again. Speculations that with his dad being murdered and him taking 2 years off from basketball, that was I'm Silver, David Stern's way of punishing Michael, but doing it under the table, making him go away. So yeah, it's not good. It's
To
not.
me, that'd be more intriguing to find out rather than somebody. Apparently, basketball players like the mafia, and mafia
Apparently,
likes basketball because back then Jordan was hanging out with the mafia members and gambling, and it sounded like even back then that Jordan got a little too much, owed the mafia too much money, so
yeah,
his dad took the fall for that, and then he just magically disappeared. Or didn't really disappear, but well, his dad did magically disappear, but then a hiatus from basketball
for 2 years.
randomly, and then you come back at a very weird point in the season. Not like the season was over or
Nope,
beginning of a season.
nope, nope.
No,
Just
like right there towards the very end of it.
right there,
Right when
towards
the playoffs about to start is when you're finally sounding like you're allowed to come back. So that's something to me. With now day and age of technology, would be a lot more interesting to actually scoop out and uncover what's really going on that really happened there. But like the mafia and gambling and poker, like honestly, like I just know I'm not going to go into nothing that Chauncey Billups
nope.
invites me to. Like one, I'm not trying to get shot. Two, like you're going to cheat, I'm good. But like I said, you gamble.
Unless you're gonna give me them same tools that you use.
Well, yeah.
But
But if you
this
cheat
is
like
just
Terry Rozier, then
Terry
go to the
Rozier
top.
done. Like you've ruined your career, and it makes no sense. You've made millions of dollars, and you wasted it all for a couple thousand for your friends to make. Which again, I get to a degree, but like you're a millionaire, so like you could just here's a couple thousand, here you go, get you on your feet or whatnot. Like you had to resort to this, like. That's kind of tough because Terry Rozier was once sought after as one of those guys that can help your franchise win, and your integrity's gone. Damian Jones, your integrity is now gone. Chauncey, we're putting him in a different category because it's like it didn't involve the game of basketball. It's just the mafia used you for your rich friends to make money. You brought them and they lost.
To blow off steam. That's really, I mean, like, that's what poker is. I mean, a high stake poker game, sure.
Very high stake, yeah.
So I'm really kind of confused on why we care so much with gambling being widespread through most states, legal, and whatever I do behind my closed doors is what I do behind my
It's just
closed
very
doors.
unfortunate that's been the highlight, but we are going to get to the highlights. Obviously, opening night. I just want to say, if you ever thought there was some colluding in the NBA, Brandon, new words that he's out here teaching everybody, it would be Kevin Durant having to go back to OKC to watch them get their ring. Now, I'm fully convinced that no matter where Kevin Durant would have played, they would have been going to OKC to watch ring ceremony and banner go up into the rafters. That is what happened. Houston had to go to OKC for ring night. Those rings, if you have not got to check those things out, flawless.
They're nice looking rings.
Flawless rings. OKC did get that dub in double overtime, 125 to 124. If you're the Rockets, you're praying for the buyout market very quickly. Like you need the buyout market very quickly. You can already see that they need a point guard. SGA back in SGA 4, back to the free throw line. Took him a while to get going. Showed up in the fourth quarter and overtime. Got it done, 35 piece. But really, it's Shungun for the Rockets. He definitely can tell he's worked on his game. 3-ball was there. So, but I guess really it's going to be really figure out how does Kevin Durant really fit into this offense.
Well, for me, that's what it's going to be really easy for him to fit in. I mean, there'd be nights that he's just going to take over, that he's going to have no choice but to kind of take over because, you know, that young Rockets crew is going to kind of struggle a little bit, and you're going to have this veteran that doesn't necessarily have to lead, which is kind of unfortunate. He's not a leader of men. He never really has been.
Nope.
And so that's a little bit unfortunate, but like KD is just going to pick and choose his spots when he kind of needs to give a little bit of offense here, a little bit of a spark there. I think it's going to be I think overall it's going to be a great fit. You know, short term with him not having a true point guard, I think they might resort to him using him more as a facilitator or a bucket getter. But I mean, we'll have to kind of see how that kind of plays out. Overall, I'm not very concerned about them not having a point guard in the short to medium term, but towards the playoffs,
you gotta have
around the All-Star break, hopefully they do have some kind of option there, whether it's a buyout market or making a trade for somebody.
Next game we had on opening night on October 21st was the Warriors and Lakers. Lakers lost by 10 to the Warriors. Luka had 43, 12, and 9. Jimmy Butler dropped 31, but 16 of those points came from the free throw line because he went to the free throw line 16 times, which was mind-boggling that Jimmy Butler got to the free throw line 16 times. But I guess the really concerning part is how do you feel, like obviously there's no LeBron right now, and the Lakers lost by 10. And it's kind of like a weird point.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's weird. Again, it's game one. It's game one, but it's like I don't know how to feel about that.
Well, it just depends how you view what the Warriors are. I mean, the Warriors are practically the same team they were last year.
They're just older.
Way older, way less athletic.
And your best athletic guy, you're playing him just to boost his trade value, to trade him in Jonathan Kuminga, which
is crazy work.
But
the Warriors are going to have their own drama as the season goes along with Kuminga anyways. If I'm the Lakers, I feel pretty good about losing to 10-2 I think the Warriors were 6th last year in the West. So like can't be overly mad about pretty much the team running it back, just being a lot older with the talent they brought in without LeBron James, giving up all those free throws. My biggest concern though is DeAndre Ayton not looking a damn like a big man. 6 boards, 6-7 boards ain't going to cut it.
No,
not running up court ain't going to cut it. Boy, I need you hustling back and forth. Like you don't get that. If Luka gets that rebound up against that board, I need you running. I need you running. I need him more as a lob threat. I know he has a little bit of that mid-range game, but boy, I need you feasting on the board. I need you protecting the paint.
Absolutely.
And then when we get the ball, I need you to run.
On October 22nd was night 2 of the NBA. We're not going to touch on every game there, but there is a game 2 games I want to touch. We had Cooper Flagg's debut against the San Antonio Spurs. And unfortunately for Cooper Flagg, he had a debut against the San Antonio Spurs and against Wemby, unfortunately. Like it's unfortunate because Wemby put the league on notice that he's potentially going to be an MVP and a Defensive Player of the Year. You know, and maybe Comeback Player of the Year, depending on how we view Comeback Player of the Year, because he had the blood clot, only played like 26 games last year.
He made it to what, the All-Star break?
Almost to the All-Star break. He made it to the All-Star break.
Break.
So Victor had 40 and 15. Cooper only had 10. He was 4 of 13. But again, I'm not overly concerned about Cooper because it's going to take a little bit of time. But
he's 18.
He's 18. People fail to realize he's technically supposed to be a freshman in college. but he reclassed because he's just better. He was just good enough. I mean, he did go to his senior year of high school. He went to college, freshman, now in the NBA. So it's like you got to give it time. His body's not there yet. He's young, and you could see the flashes of it in the game. It's just unfortunate he debuted against Wemby, and
Or is it really unfortunate, or it just kind of goes to show that the Mavs and the holes that they have at the
yeah,
guard position was glaring,
yes,
and that obviously, like, there's nobody out there that can stop a Victor Wembanyama. There's not a person out there. The same, there's not a person out there that can stop a Giannis.
yeah,
There's not one person out there that can stop, a Joker. But I mean, you saw the flashes what Cooper
yeah.
potentially can be. He got to his spot. He had good looks. They just unfortunately didn't go down. But that's kind of to be
The
expected.
greatest thing was in that game was watching him look at Wemby like, "Bitch, you're not real, dog. Like you're not real. You an alien." But I'm not worried about Cooper. He's gonna be fine. Another game I want to touch on very quickly was the Sixers and Celtics game. The Sixers did win that game. Maxey dropped 40. But that's not what we want to talk about right there. DJ Edcombe, rookie. He made some history in that game. He surpassed LeBron James for the most points scored in the first quarter at 14. LeBron was 12. And then he also scored the most points in an NBA debut at 34. That is the most points scored in 66 years. That's the most points scored this century for a rookie, which is crazy. You talk about coming out and setting the motherfucking bar. Very high.
Yeah.
Very, very high, which can be good and bad because like everyone's like, okay, well, damn, you can do this. The bar is very high. Joel Embiid, your former MVP, Ben Simmons like very sus, not good. I think he only had like
those knees are gone.
knees
Those
are
knees
cooked.
are shot.
Knees are cooked, not great.
But I mean, it looks like, don't want to overreact to just one game, but it looks like potentially the 76ers have a running mate for Tyreke Maxey. And if Joel can even get to 85% of what Joel ever was for a 3-year stint, the 76ers will be fine. You still have Paul George. If Paul George could get back to
somewhat of Paul George,
or like a different version of Paul George would be okay too. Like a
defensive
side of Paul George would be okay. A 3-and-D Paul George would fit quite well if EJ's actually what he showed he can be.
Yeah. So we'll see how that works out. But again, congratulations to VJ Edcombe. Like I didn't see that coming. Set the bar high, and with setting the bar that high, it's going to come with some high expectations. But I encourage the people. He's a rookie. There are going to be games where it don't look great. So, like people that want to hold him to a standard, that's not really fair because you're a rookie. There's going to be nights where you're going to run against a wall, and it's just going to be that way.
Well, I think it's going to be I think the rookie race was kind of a foregone conclusion that Cooper Flagg and this great Mavs team was he was going to run away with it because he has all this talent around him. How is he not going to run away with it? But hopefully now it seems that with VJ,
Cooper
Flagg
VJ
will have
that,
nice.
I think it rose his stock almost 34% to win Rookie of the Year.
So hopefully we'll have a nice, race.
It should be a nice race. I think we're going to have a very interesting race for Rookie of the Year.
But on the Mavs, though,
go for it.
How did they looked against the Spurs? Did that change your opinion on what the Mavs' potential is this year?
No, it was unfortunate. They missed a guard, and I think they're also trying to figure out where do you play Cooper Flagg because he's not really a forward, but he's an oversized guard. It's kind of like where does he fit in? Obviously, they clearly buffed up AD to try to make him last through the season, kind of like the Shaq method. Going to beef you up so you're ready for the postseason. Honestly, I think they'll be well above 500 come All-Star break, and you're just kind of waiting for Kyrie to get there, and then really that's when we're really get to see where this team goes. But by then, hopefully they have Jason Kidd's got to figure out how you're going to use Cooper Flagg in all reality. But I think this team's going to be very dangerous come down, especially because Cooper Flagg, you don't have to. Again, when you look at Cooper Flagg, people are like he's got to win Rookie of the Year. When I look at this roster, necessarily the Rookie of the Year don't matter to him because like you're competing for a championship in year one as a rookie with this roster.
I guess that's what I'm saying. Like the expectation for the Mavs is championship,
So for Cooper Flag, it's just trying to figure out where
but
he missed.
getting waxed like they really, in my opinion, did by the
Yeah,
Spurs.
yeah.
That to change your opinion more on the Spurs or more on the Mavs?
The Spurs. Changed my opinion a little more on the Spurs.
So to me, that's crazy work that people weren't as high on the Spurs coming into the season, but they were much higher on the Mavs. To me, I was quite high on the Spurs with Wembanyama and Castle and Fox coming back. They have
Then you
plethora of
add Dylan
talent.
Harper, who they drafted, as well. Dylan Harper, who's phenomenal. It was a little sketchy because Fox and Harper kind of play similar. So how is that going to work? But with Fox out, you get Harper acclimated with Wemby in the system, and then you bring Fox in. You just kind of plug Fox back in, and you're off to the. Really, for me, the Spurs, it's like I need Wemby to stay healthy. Like, and it's going to be you're going to see video game like numbers come from Victor come this season. So, night 3 of the NBA that took place yesterday, Thursday, we had a rematch of the NBA Finals between the Pacers and the Thunder, and it did not disappoint. They went to 2 overtimes again. I just know the Thunder are tired. 4 overtimes in a 3-day span. SGA laying on the ground. Dog, I'm tired. But in that same breath, the Thunder did get the victory. SGA, 55 points. 26 free throws attempts, though. 23 free throws made. So he's already back in MVP form.
I mean, like you make fun of everybody make fun of him going to the line, but at least there's a difference between going to the line and knocking them down. At least he's going to the line and knocking them down.
Yeah.
And at some point, you have to learn how to play SGA better.
You got to.
You got to learn how to keep your.
You know
feet.
what he's going to do, and if you get him stuck, he's going to turn and make it look like he's fading and get you in the air and right into it. He's going to free throw line. You saw it yesterday, both times at a time. You got Durant up in there, which fouled Durant out in the season opener. So you just got to know. You got to. Clearly, people are not watching enough film on SGA, but kudos to SGA. Struggled in game 1. Game 2 came out. Give you 55. Like, God damn. Talk about some serious points being scored. Then the other game from that night was the Nuggets and Warriors. And honestly, I went to bed early in this game. I'm not going to lie to you, man. I went to bed early. Nuggets were up 20. I thought Nuggets had this in a bag. Nope. Shout out to Aaron Gordon, though. Had a hell of a career night. 50 points. Crazy from 3. Nikola Jokic, not his best game. 2 of 13 from 3. Not great. Curry went off for 42, but that was a hell of a game. That went to overtime as well. To be honest, the start to the NBA season has been phenomenal. Let's keep it a buck. A lot of high-scoring games. People dropping massive points. Overtime games, like who doesn't want extra quarters in basketball? Like, the beginning of the season has been great. Like, been lightning in a bottle so far in the NBA
I just
season.
know the Thunder are glad they have today off.
Yeah, you're not wrong. They tired. But that's been the NBA season. So far, we obviously got some games coming on October 24th. Some good games to tune into and watch. But definitely, like I said, the NBA season's underway. We got, it's a long season. Like it's a marathon, 82 games, whatnot. So won't be a whole lot of NBA talk. We're basically going to just kind of lower NBA talk to like the major games and stars, let you guys know what's going on there. But the NBA season's back, man. I'm happy basketball's back. LeBron James out to like mid-November, maybe December. I don't know. He'll be back sometime.
Or he just retires and doesn't play at all.
Or that too, and then I have to cry. But that's that. Moving on to the meat and potatoes that everybody loves to talk about, the NFL. And right off rip, we have the NFL Week 7 recap. And the first game we got to start with, Brandon, that was crazy, was the Giants and Broncos. Giants were up 19-0 going into the fourth quarter and ended up losing that game 32-33 on a game-winning field goal by the Broncos. The Broncos scored 33 points in the fourth quarter. Ouchies.
Yeah.
Ouchies.
Considering, the Giants defense is looked at, the front 7 at least, is looked at as a premier unit.
Yes.
We didn't see that there in the fourth quarter. That Giants defense is definitely let that offense and the Giants down.
Yeah. So that was crazy because I went to sleep to that game too. I'm like, damn, Giants got that wrapped up. Giants looking good with Jackson Dart and Skibo. Those two guys' parents been great for the NFL and great for the Giants, great for the league. like we're Kansas City Chiefs fans and we're here for Scabito, man. Like dude's lightning in a bottle. But speaking of the Giants, though, Brandon, we just got some breaking news before we went live or went for the podcast. There were some fines handed out here.
Yeah. So, as we know, when the Giants played the Eagles last, that Dart went into the concussion protocol.
Yes, he did.
Tent. Well, Scabito got fined $15K for going into the tent. Brian Daboll got fined $100K, and the Giants, as an organization themselves, got fined $200K.
Yes, he did.
It was put out. Dart got cleared. He had no concussion, but while both parties, the NFL and the NFLPA, agreed that Coach Daboll and Mr. Scabito's actions had no actual impact on the exam or the care of Mr. Dart's received, their conduct was inconsistent with the demonstrated and disregard for concussion protocol's requirement, and therefore constituted a violation a la a fine. So that's a little kind of crazy to fine a rookie $15K, especially a running back. But I mean, I get it. Like you're not supposed to touch it and go inside the tent. But I mean, if you're a coach and you see Russell Wilson starting to warm up, I'm gonna get a little worried too.
Now, speaking of Russell Wilson, we do have to give a round of applause to Russell Wilson. We do. He took. If you guys did not know, in case you were under a rock, Russell Wilson played for the Denver Broncos. Okay, it was not a great stint there with the Denver Broncos. Unfortunately, it did not go well. Let Russ cook did not go well. It was burnt. Sean Payton made some serious comments and about Russell Wilson. Well, how people took it, and Russell Wilson clapped back on social media, saying classless but not surprised. Didn't realize you're still bounty hunting 15 plus years later through the media, which I thought was hilarious because if you remember Bounty Gate back when he was with the New Orleans Saints, when they were, paying players a little bit extra money to take someone's head off. I thought that was quite funny because, Russell Wilson, God, family football type of guy, put that to the side and chose violence for the first time in his career, which was great. It was hilarious. Sean Payton had a press conference. It was like, I could see why Russell took that the wrong way. It was no disrespect, but it was just funny to see Russell finally clap back and finally stand up for himself for once. Like, even though it's been bad, the dude's he's just taken a lot on the shoulders and just kind of, chugged along. But I just thought that was funny. It was hella funny for him to finally clap back at somebody. But our Week 7 matchups, obviously we had the Icy Hot Bowl. Brandon, are we worried about the Bengals sitting at 3-4? Is that something we need to be worried about with Sleepy Joe?
I don't necessarily think we should be necessarily worried about the Bengals and Sleepy Joe Flacco over there. I'm kind of confused on the Steelers on not guarding Jamar Chase at all.
Yeah.
But, that's what they want to do defensively. Come 2 weeks, if the Bengals are 500 or above 500, that might be a little concerned. I'm going to be a little concerned because Joe Burrow's return is December-esque.
Yeah.
So I'll be a little slightly concerned if I'm in the AFC, if I'm in that division.
And they're hovering.
They're hovering pretty close to a wild card spot or the first place.
Because if they were trash, Joe Burrow's not coming back. But if they got a chance, Joe Burrow's coming back. And you're like,
I think Joe Burrow's probably coming back either way.
Yes.
Because, you got, 4 or 5 games left of the season. That's 4 or 5 games that I get to play. Yep. I might as well. If I'm fully healthy, which he should be. But, division, better start, locking in. Otherwise, you're going to be looking up, and the Bengals are going to be tied for first.
Mm-hmm.
But at 3-4 is a little concerning for the NFL with Joe Burrow being out.
Not wrong. Some of the other games we need to talk about from Week 7, not going to dwell too much, but the Dolphins lost again to the Cleveland Browns. Got dominated 31-6. Tua got benched in that game. Another unfortunate, unwatchable press conference at the end of the game from Mike McDaniel. That's always tough to watch. That is always tough to tune into.
It's always tough to understand.
Because it's like whatever that prompt is, he can't read it because he's staring so goddamn hard down there. And it's like, dude, can you not? Like, are you struggling?
I think the biggest thing that come from the game is that McDaniels is still the head coach of the Dolphins.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest confusing thing is that they haven't fired him with 1 win this season.
Yeah, that's something I can't. And then we're gonna go right into our Chiefs and Raiders game. Listen, I was telling Brent, I had to clap at some people on TikTok that we were talking a little heinous about this game. And I did it respectfully, but people out there were talking about how they didn't think that this game was impressive. And I don't know how you look at this game and not think it was not impressive what the Kansas City Chiefs did to the Raiders. Divisional opponent. We know how divisional games can go. They know what you're going to do. You know what I'm going to do. I know what you're going to do. Figure out how to stop it. The Kansas City Chiefs 31-0 the Raiders. We had 30 first downs to the Raiders 3 first downs. The Raiders had 30 total plays and 4 quarters of football.
Yep.
I don't know how you don't think that's impressive, but maybe, I don't know, maybe some people out there are just Chief haters because for the first time in Patrick Mahomes, he had Worthy, Rice, and Hollywood Brown all healthy on the field at the same time, and you got to see how dangerous potentially this offense could be, minus, not adding in Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco, Travis Kelce, and everybody else that we got. You got to see a full display of what could happen, and I think it put a little bit of fear into some fans out there about how you feel about your team because
Well, for me though, it's more than just the Raiders game. Like I expected to beat the Raiders, yes. Did I expect to 31-0
we
them?
outgained them 434 yards to 96, 10 times more first down. Patrick got pulled in the third quarter, rightfully so. Don't need Patrick getting hurt. And then the Raiders wanted to get out of this game so goddamn bad, they let us kneel the goddamn clock out with 2 minutes and 36 seconds of, you know what? You go ahead and kneel down. We want to get up out of here like we embarrassed ourselves. But to look at that game and to think that that wasn't impressive, I'm sorry. And this is not just me being biased because we're Chiefs fans. You're just a hater because that was pure domination from start to finish on both sides of the ball. Because our defense has been a little shaky, and we came in and it was strapped. So I just don't know how you don't think that stuff wasn't impressive because that was impressive.
Well, if you take the totality of the Raiders game, Lions game, and the Ravens, Lions, and Raiders game as a whole, and you put those 3 games together, it's been a hella impressive stretch of games for our Kansas City Chiefs that they played. You played some of the 2 top offenses in the league. I mean, they're probably top 5 offenses at the time when we played the Ravens. Then obviously we saw what the Lions did the following week.
Yep.
Against the Bucks, and then we take the Raiders, a divisional game, and we hold them to 0 points. Andy Reid has never shut out a team.
Yep, first time.
Finally shut out a team in his career. So it's just overall impressive to hold them under 100 yards. Any team to hold a team under 100 yards in this day and age is impressive. So what the Chiefs have been able to do as a whole against those 3 teams has been hellaciously impressive.
Yes.
To say otherwise, you're scared because our offense is looking hella 4 or 5 years ago type of offense.
Yeah. And with those 3 guys, with Rice back, dude, it just the playbook is unlimited now. Like it's like, oh God, like you can't guard everybody, you can't double everybody, and someone's gonna be left open.
And that's with our left tackle still,
supposed to be back
MIA.
this week, I believe. This Monday, I believe.
I don't think about that. I don't know about that. I think he's still going to be out this week. But they're having good dialogue with our left tackle that didn't go MIA, but nobody knows what's going on. He kept it very close to his chest. Sounds like it is family related. Yep. But our left tackle Monroe is building great. Juwan Taylor's been lining up properly.
Thank God.
And isn't getting holding calls. So honestly, all in all, our offense is starting to gain momentum. Going about week 8. That's all you could really ask for. We weathered the storm, losing Worthy 4-3, looking to go 5-3 against the Commanders this week, who are missing Jalen Daniels.
Yep.
So I like where we're at. I feel like we dropped 2 games. Well, I feel like we dropped the game against the Eagles, and then I feel like
we dropped the game against the Jags.
And then we dropped the game against the Jags, the pick 6, and then the interception in the end zone.
Yep.
But I think we get those 2 games back. It's a whole different conversation.
We're having a whole different conversation about it. So that's just we need to touch on that because we're not going to take the Chiefs on it because you got to be impressed with it. Other game we need to talk about. Shout out to the Colts, man. Anyone that's not on the Colts train, the Daniel Jones train, the Jonathan Taylor train, you're crazy. These guys are dominating. Jonathan Taylor is looking like an MVP type of player this season, especially how he's playing, what he's on pace for. Danny Dimes is looking phenomenal. Got the Colts top of the AFC. That's impressive. So, like, you got to show love to that. Packers beat the Cardinals. Packers are looking good. Cardinals has just been unfortunate. Have not been able to win the close games this year.
No.
It's not gone well for you. We're going to come back to the Cardinals a little bit. Cowboys dominated the Commanders. Like Brandon said, Jaden Daniels went down in that game with a hamstring. Going to have a conversation a little bit here in a little bit about Jaden Daniels' health. Looking a little scary for the Commanders right now, unfortunately. Scary Terry's out. Devo's been banged up. Not been good. Another game we got to talk about, the Falcons and Niners game that took place Sunday night last week. If you're a Falcons fan, you have to be hella disappointed. I mean, Mac Jones didn't have his best game, but CMC came out and put the team on his back that game and carried them, outplayed Bijan Robinson. And, like, we've had this conversation multiple weeks, Brandon. Scariest team in the NFC is the Niners because they still are trying to get healthy. George Kittle did return. Not much action. I mean, he was in the game, but not a lot his way. But again, the Niners find a way to win again.
Well, I mean, for the Falcons to lose to McCaffrey, that's what happened.
They lost to McCaffrey. Let's keep it up.
24 carries, 130 yards, 2 tutties, and then the top receiver for the Niners, McCaffrey, 7 catches, 72 yards. At what point do you just not let the dude get the ball? Like, at what point do you stop him from getting the ball?
You're not wrong. Not wrong. So if you're a Falcons fan, that's disappointing to lose that game. Shouldn't have lost that game, but the Niners have figured a way to win. And this is a huge credit. Like, you almost have to say Kyle Shanahan, Coach of the Year, right? Like,
I mean, it has to be in the conversation.
It has to be in the conversation.
All the talent that he has lost and being able to still win and weather the storm, and they don't even have their number 1 QB back yet. Definitely has to put his name in the conversation for Coach of the Year.
And the next game up that we got to talk about was the Bucks and Lions game because that was very disappointing. On a side note, Mike Evans is done in potentially for the year, maybe not for the whole year.
I mean, it's his clavicle, so it's his collarbone. So that's usually about 6 to 8, depending on the surgery. So, I mean, you're looking sometime mid-December-esque. So, assuming they win their division, he'll be ready about playoff time.
It's just unfortunate. The Bucks are looking great. Baker's playing at an MVP level, but the injuries are stacking up at the wide receiver position for the Bucks, unfortunately.
Well, their rookie sounds like he's back and he's healthy. He played.
Yeah.
There's really kind of the defense. You need that defense to start to step up, take some of that pressure off of the offense for the Bucks.
And then you look at the last game, the last Monday night game of Week 7 we got to talk about is the Seattle Seahawks and the Houston Texans. Listen, Texans have been a disappointment this year in my personal opinion. C.J. Stroud just has never regained from what he looked like his rookie year. 23 years old, talking about I've lost a step. That's concerning to me and a weird thing.
Well, I feel like that was more of a joke. I feel like he was just kind of joking with the media, saying that, I'm 23, 24 years old. Kind of felt like maybe I've kind of lost a step. I feel like it was a little bit more of a joke.
I just expected more for the Texans, man.
I feel like I expected more out of CJ. I'm not getting that same spark from him. But again,
2-4.
I mean, he also had a lot of weapons around him. He's missing his star running back in Joe Mixon.
He is.
He only has Nico Collins out there, and he's a great number 1, but what else help are you getting me if I don't have a run game?
You traded my best lineman away as well in the offseason.
You did, so there's some questions what's going on up top, but if you can't run the ball, it becomes very hard to throw the ball, and it's not like C.J. Stroud is a great runner of the ball to begin with, and he is a little bit height impaired too, so that does kind of hinder some of his visuals where he can't see in the pockets in the defense.
But we have to talk about, and we got to show some more love to Sam Darnold because it's starting to look more and more like the Vikings potentially made a mistake.
They fucked up.
Letting him go. Him and Jigga Smith, they're having a great connection.
Oh, yeah.
Smith is leading the league in almost everything wide receiver like, so he's balling out this year with Sam Darnold. Got the Seattle Seahawks sitting at 5-2, tied for number 1 in the NFC West that's just crazy outside of Arizona if they could ever figure out how to win a close game. I mean, 49ers 5-2, Seattle 5-2, Rams 5-2. Yeah, like Sam Darnold's proving everyone wrong. Was it just a one off? No, not a one off. So far, 7 weeks through the season.
Well,
So
you can't even. I mean, it's not a one-off.
no,
He did it with one organization, the Vikings and that staff, and then he went to Seattle. He's doing it with those players that got moved off of DK. Enigma has clearly prospered,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
in that number one role, they got rid of Tyler Lockett, and they brought in Cooper Kupp, who did have one throw for one interception that game.
Yeah,
Funny enough, but I mean, Sam Darnold looking like he found his home there in
absolutely.
Seattle. He looked like he had his home with Minnesota, but they chose to not have a quarterback.
Yeah, so we're gonna get to some quarterback talk in a minute. There are a couple things we need to talk about that are not big deals, but be very curious here. The NFL is considering going away from onside kicks and going to a 4th and 15 proposal instead of onside kicks. So you remove the onside kicks because they don't ever really get recovered, and then you would have an opportunity to convert a 4th and 15 to make possession of the ball for another series. So where do you think that? How do you feel about that?
I like that with the current kickoff format that we have.
Yes.
I have to tell you I'm doing it.
Yes.
I'm not allowed to do onside kicks until a certain point in the game anyways.
So
I have to be trailing, so I like the idea of trying to help like you want a chance to try to retain the ball. I think it needs to be a little bit farther than 4th and 15. Like I feel like there's a lot of third and longs that always get completed, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10. So I feel like maybe 4th and 20, like a 4-and-20 or 25 yards, something. I feel like a 4th and 15 could be a very high percentage of converting that, and that
not wrong, especially in this NFL.
Might not be the best thing. Cause, I mean, you get Lamar Jackson sit back there, it breaks down, and you tell him he 2.5 seconds, he's already crossed 15 yards. So that's I feel like maybe a little bit more. Maybe
it heightens the game.
Yards.
It heightens the game also for a mental aspect to not make a mistake because you get a flag. That's first down anyway, and boy, you just.
I'd be curious how they would do that.
Yes.
If you would get an automatic a holding automatic first down on the defense,
or if it's just you move the yards and replay the down.
4th and 10, and we retry the try.
Absolutely.
I'm kind of curious how they would go about that aspect of it. But I mean, also I feel like if there's PI and it's past the first down marker, then this is first down.
And then the other thing says the biggest news, but the NFL is moving the Pro Bowl games to the Super Bowl weekend. So like the NFL Pro Bowl stuff would start on like a Tuesday and like ruffle all the way to the Super Bowl weekend. So
I think that makes more sense. I don't personally care about the Pro Bowl, any of that shenanigans that go on, but I think that makes more sense to kind of like prolong and kind of hype up the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Speaking on the Super Bowl though, they've announced the halftime show.
Yep.
It's Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny.
I didn't know who Bad Bunny was until Happy Gilmore 2. Yep. Apparently he's a Mexican rapper.
Yep.
But as we all know, there's Turning Point USA.
Yes.
They came out and announced that during the halftime show, they'll be having their own halftime show that you can also tune into. And coming at a later date, they'll be announcing who's going to be performing their halftime show to give the American people and other people from other countries that are tuning in to watch the Super Bowl another halftime show to watch. Yep. Considering Bad Bunny has came out and said that
everything's in Spanish.
Everything will be in Spanish.
And to be fair, for the people that don't know Bad Bunny, maybe you're not, he, like Brandon said, he is an R&B performer from Puerto Rico, and all his music is in Spanish. None of his stuff is in English, and so he's made it very clear that he's not doing anything in English. And again, that's a little tough for me because 85% of your audience is going to be English speaking, and so. Turning Point USA, who is ran by Charlie Clark's wife, they came out, like Brandon said, they're going to do their own halftime show with their own performers to compete with the Super Bowl halftime show. So if you're into that stuff and care about watching the halftime performance, you have some options.
You got some options. I'm not necessarily here for the word compete, but I'm here for I never disagreed when I heard who it was, I didn't care. Like I was going to watch the halftime show.
Well,
with him.
I've always said this too, Brent. Like, how many people really tune in to care about the halftime show? Like, you're really kind of just there to watch the game. Most of the time, when halftime Super Bowl show comes on, for example, for us, we're kind of getting some food, refilling our drinks, restroom break.
I mean,
Get back.
last year's halftime show
Was
though,
great. We were tuned in
everybody
because of
tuned
the
into
drama
that.
between Drake and Kendrick Lamar, which was great. Like, how many halftime shows have you really gotten up for though? When you really think about it, like it's not been very select few in our lifetime.
But I think you potentially are going to see a lot of views from the Super Bowl
Yeah,
crash,
possibly. Yes.
and like potentially a lot of them will be because nobody has an option because like nobody's going to turn off the Super Bowl because it's got a halftime show. They're going to just turn their back and they're just going to talk with everybody that they're with that's watching the game. Nobody's really going to care what's going on. I'm not going to turn the game off because that's unfortunately that's a lot of work. But if there's something else that I can have on in the background that I can actually understand, and if it's artists that people that I'm around want
that
to
you
listen
like
to,
musically, yes.
then that'd be cool to have that background noise going while I'm eating my halftime snacks.
Yeah. So we'll have to see how what Turning Point does. Listen, LeBron said competing is the word. This has been a back and forth thing between the NFL, the people, and Turning Point USA. However you feel about them. Again, we're not here to judge. Like I said, we don't really normally care about the halftime performance show, but like you said, you have some options to listen to, tune into while you're eating your snack during the halftime Super Bowl.
I'm just glad there's another option out there that's kind of pushing back against the NFL and their choice performer. If that was their choice, because Roger Joe came out and said, "Well, we're trying to just globally expand the brand. That's fine, but your brand is still in America and." Not everybody here, like you said, 85% of the people here don't speak Spanish.
Yep.
Everybody can feel how they want to feel about it, but when you tune in, you're expecting to hear and understand the halftime show in English. So, there's been other performers that a lot of their performances and songs are in a different language, but when they performed for the halftime show, they sung it in English.
Yep.
So I don't know. I'm kind of here for Turning Point USA to see what they put out for their halftime show, and if it's anybody worth a damn, it might be worth turning into at least. At least you can understand it.
Yeah. So we'll have to see what they go when they announce their performers. We'll bring them to you guys. Staying on the NFL topic, there's some guys I want to talk about, Brandon, and it's Trevor Lawrence is one of those guys. I had you pull up a tab on your computer because honestly, at a certain point, I have to ask myself. We understand the hype that was around Trevor Lawrence when he came into the league. Okay, we understand that he was supposed to be that guy. We all agree. I think you guys would agree. We would agree. We give Trevor Lawrence a pass for the Urban Meyer year. We do.
Yeah,
that was
his rookie year.
We give that a pass. Everything outside of that, I have not been a fan of. I haven't liked. I'm not a fan of. And people want to come. I've heard people come out and say, he made the playoffs. Yeah, he did. He won a playoff game. Cool. He still tried to lose that game as well by throwing 4 interceptions in that game. I just can't help the Chargers do what the Chargers do best and choke the game away. But you have to look at we have to look at the performance. And we watched that performance. And it was not great. It was not. Like, let's keep it a buck. He obviously made plays down the stretch, got it done, but he still threw those 4 picks. In 5 seasons, 26 career wins. Like, and the reason I bring that up is because another quarterback that we're high on, that Brandon and I are both high on, is Justin Fields. He's got, 14, 16 wins?
He has 14 wins and 36 losses.
So that's 12 less wins than Trevor Lawrence. Yep. And we praise Lawrence and we shit on Justin Fields.
Who's been in a lot more unstable situations.
Yes. Like, and people that want to harp on Fields, well, he could have been with the Steelers. Well, the Steelers necessarily didn't know if they wanted him or not. There was confliction. Why do I want to stay with an organization that maybe not want me? I'm going to go somewhere else where I'm wanted. Did we expect the Jets to be 0-7? Absolutely not.
No.
Justin Fields, I think, for the most part, has played very well. I can't help how it's gone down there. He's the only quarterback that hasn't thrown an interception. He's had some big games. You've seen the flashes. Unfortunately, it's the Jets, and Aaron Glenn is not looking like a great first-time head coach. Now, it's his first time. We'll have to see how got to go give it next year and see how it looks too. You can't just base everything off 1 year.
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, I agree. Most of them you can't base it off of 1 year, but
because Zach Taylor went 0-13, I think, his first year.
But again, like you have to see some kind of glimpse that you can be a leader of men and you can hold some kind of like structure. And currently, I'm not seeing a dude that can lead men and that can implement structure.
Yeah.
And it's okay. And sometimes you're just like, you might be a great, DC mind.
Brad's always said that.
You're just not cracked up to be a head coach.
But sticking on, like, why is Trevor, like, if you took, why is Trevor Lawrence given such leeway? Like, anybody else, they would have moved at any other franchise. You're moving on from that quarterback. Like, why do you think Trevor Lawrence is just given that benefit of the doubt? Like, at some point, like, you got to get off what he did in college because people still are, this is what he did in college. We're 5 years into his career. Like, the college shit is over, man. We're not here for that no more.
I was really confused when he got paid. Like, when the Jacks paid him, I was confused. I'm like, what has he done up to this point to deserve to be paid like a top 5 quarterback? I've always been anti Trevor Lawrence in the terms of that he's not a bust as a number 1 pick. He's a bust. He's done nothing. He has a losing record. They're 4-3, I think, currently.
The Jags are 4-3 currently, yes.
So, like, currently this is the best record they've had up to this point outside of their one playoff run that ended against the Chiefs. I don't like Trevor Lawrence. He misses the wide open guy way too much. I don't understand why he doesn't get more media hate or more. He isn't belittled more, I guess. 26 wins and 41 losses is not great.
No.
78 touchdowns to 51 interceptions is not great.
No, it's not great.
62% completion for his career is not great. For this season, he's about 59% completion. Is not great.
No.
And, I mean, just Trevor...
9 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, only completing 58% of your passes.
Well, Justin Fields is completing 64% of his passes. So his completion percentage is higher.
And I'm comparing those two guys because you look at a guy who's supposed to be the echelon. He was supposed to be that dude. Fields, maybe not necessarily, but he's just never been in a stable organization. He's got 12 less wins than him, and you still see the oozing potential from Fields. I look at Trevor Lawrence, and I'm like, dude peaked out. Like, there's no more ceiling. The ceiling, we're at the ceiling. Like, I don't think it gets any better than what you've seen.
For me, Justin Fields, I think, still has untapped ability where, given with the correct coaching staff, and we saw it with the Steelers with way less weapons than they have now currently around Aaron Rodgers and a way less O-line, that Justin Fields still even performed great for the Steelers, and I didn't like them pulling him and going Russell Wilson last year. I thought that was a great opportunity for Fields, and then going to the Jets, I thought was the correct move. Clearly was not necessarily the best move for him.
I mean, another quarterback that we got to talk about, Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
39 wins, 30 losses. I mean, this year he's 1-6, 11 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. I mean, he is completing 68% of his passes, but it's like someone owes Brian Flores an apology, like a written apology, like a public apology.
Out of these 3 teams, out of the Dolphins, Jags, and Jets, I'm going to presume none of them make the playoffs.
No.
I'm going to presume most of them are top 10 picks. Who's drafting a rookie?
Dolphins have to. I mean, the Dolphins, the Jags aren't because you paid him. No, you can't unload that contract. That's staying. And if I'm the Jets considering their owner, he might consider it, but I'm still holding hope for Justin Fields, man. But the Dolphins, absolutely. It's the fact that Mike McDaniel hasn't been fired and the fire sale hasn't started for the Dolphins is crazy. I mean, Darren Waller, he's on IR now. He's done again.
But you didn't really have that high of hopes for Darren Waller. Hasn't played in like 2 years.
No, but he came back looking, about 2 touchdowns a game. He was looking pretty solid for the most part.
I mean, I expect Darren Waller to eventually come back this year at some point off of IR. But to me, like, from the Jags,
my problem is you look at a lot of these quarterbacks that we were quote on high on. They haven't done a whole lot.
No.
They just haven't done a whole lot, especially the guys that were supposed to be the guy. And Trevor Lawrence is just that guy. I'm so sick of everybody just kind of giving the benefit of the doubt to. You can't give the benefit of the doubt to him and shit on everybody else around him when you look at the numbers and how he's playing. Like, he's looking great. Everybody wants to talk about why is Brian Thomas Jr. not looking well. People forget last year when Brian Thomas Jr. was looking great, those numbers, yards, and catches were coming from Mac Jones. They weren't coming from Trevor Lawrence. People forget that. They were coming from Mac Jones, not Trevor Lawrence. And now look at Mac Jones looking beautiful over there in San Francisco, looking like a starting quarterback in the league, which he's going to get a job next year as a starting quarterback. But, man, and he's doing it with, I don't even know the fuck he got over there at wide receiver, boy. Boy, he's doing it with no names. Like, come on now. Like, this is, we got to stop this nonsense. And I think you would agree. We got to stop the nonsense. Like,
you got to stop moving the goalpost.
The goalpost is
when
crazy.
You talk about quarterbacks.
We move it.
When you talk about Patrick Mahomes, the goalpost is here. You talk about Josh or Joe, it's there. When you talk about Dak, it's here. At what point do we stop moving the goalposts for these quarterbacks?
Absolutely.
And these up-and-coming quarterbacks? Like, at some point, even with C.J. Stroud, you're going to have that conversation. I'm like, well, is this dude can be that dude? Same with the Panthers and Bryce Young. I mean, the dude kind of caught fire a little bit. They're
Panthers are 4-3, which is kind of crazy. They are 4-3.
But they are going for. They are.
I don't
4-3.
know how long we expect them to, have a winning record, and that's no disrespect, but it's like it's the Panthers and
this is the Panthers,
so no disrespect. But the Week 8 matchups, Thursday night football, we had the Chargers and Vikings. That was probably the worst Thursday night game we've had this year.
By a landslide.
The Vikings made, and this is, I'm not trying to disrespect the Chargers, but it's a little disrespectful. The Vikings made the Chargers look like Super Bowl contenders.
Oh, I mean, they definitely made everybody forget about the whooping the Colts gave the Chargers last week. I still didn't like that they took that interception away.
Yeah, I was not a fan. Right out the gate, Herbert does what Herbert does, throw an interception. Looked clean to me, and the NFL said, we can't do that to Herbert right out the gate. Then they marched down the field, scored a touchdown, and that's
about it.
That was about it. Shout out to Carson Wentz out there playing with that banged up shoulder. But I guess the question is, J.J. McCarthy is hurt, but he's dressed, and he's the third string quarterback.
He's healthy enough to be the emergency guy. Healthy enough.
I think the Vikings understood. Yeah, this guy wasn't quite ready yet. Fortunate enough, he got hurt. Stuffed him away, getting him ready. He's going to be back next week.
So you think there's at some point this year we're going to see J.J. McCarthy again?
Yeah, supposedly he's supposed to be next week. He's supposed to be back.
And you don't think he was ready to start the season?
No, I don't think. I think he's only played one good quarter of football.
But coming off this injury, he's going to be ready?
According to the Vikings, yes.
But I'm asking you. You think he's going to be ready?
I've never been high on J.J. McCarthy. You go back to him in college. They handed the ball off. He didn't throw. And you go back and look at the throws. They were not great throws. And you look at him since he's been a starter in the NFL. It has not been great. He had one great quarter of football, and that was week 1 in the fourth quarter. That was his best football. And since then, it's been bad.
I'm confused.
I feel really very bad for Justin Jefferson.
If it's the best thing that could happen for the Vikings, if I was a Viking fan, I just want to lose. I don't want to win.
Yeah,
I want to draft a new quarterback because I had my franchise guy in Sam Darnold, and
we let him go
for JJ. You clearly were high on JJ, so at some point I need a long. You were
high, and then you realize, damn, he was not.
Unless JJ starts showing something when he ever plays again from his ankle injury.
Yeah. So the week 8 matchups we got, Brandon, here right off the rip. Dolphins and Falcons, big guy.
I mean, I'm just kind of confused still why Mike McDaniels is still a head coach. He needs to lay off of whatever he's doing so we can get a good press conference. But I'm going to go Bijan Robinson and the Falcons.
Yeah, I think they're about to have a heyday. We got Bears and Ravens.
Lamar should be back.
So,
I'm saying the Ravens get right against the Bears at home.
The question is Caleb Williams going to be the first quarterback in Bears history to throw 4,000 yards?
No.
He's on pace right now currently for 3,800 yards currently at the pace he's on.
And Romeo Abduze, since like week 4 or 5, that's his number one guy. So no, like he's not. I'd be surprised if he hits like 38.
Okay, that's fair. Bears still looking for that 4,000-yard passer.
Honestly, he'll probably be closer to 33.
All right. We got Bengals Jets. The Jets get their first win, Brandon? Did the Jets get their first win?
Yes, dude, we gotta ride the Jets. At some point, they gotta get a win.
We need the Bengals to lose. We can't be giving hope around here.
Pretty can't. The Jets gotta get this done. The Jets.
Bills Panthers.
That's the Bills.
All right.
That's not really like it shouldn't be a competition.
It shouldn't be a competition.
The Bills
but if the
dominate.
Panthers can run the ball the way they've been running the ball, Buffalo's in trouble.
Oh, absolutely.
Like they're in big fucking trouble.
Like absolutely.
If you're a Buffalo Bills organization, your main concern, we got to stop the motherfucking run. We don't care if you throw it, but boy, we cannot let you run.
You got to stop Rico.
You got to stop Rico. And they got Chubbo back too, so they've been splitting those guys. Niners Texans.
Niners.
Yeah, that's not a competition.
It's not a competition.
Browns Patriots. We're going to get
a
Shador at some point.
Well, it's not happening this week. Patriots.
And then we got that infamous rematch of the Giants and Eagles.
Give me Giants.
A.J. Brown is potentially not going to play with a hamstring injury.
Well, he can play. I'm still taking the Giants.
I'm taking the Giants too. Bucks Saints.
Yeah, it's definitely looking Bucks.
Yeah, poor.
Even injury riddled as the Bucks currently are offensively, a little bit defensively. I don't know who the Saints quarterback is. Like
Spencer Rattler's playing well.
Spencer Rattler who? Trash.
Playing well, but the Saints are just
you
not.
Can't say he's playing well if you got like one win. It's not playing well. No, Bucks.
And then the poor Titans. They got the Colts. Jonathan Taylor.
Danny Dimes, baby. Danny Dimes.
Danny Dimes and Jonathan Taylor about to have a field day with that Tennessee Titans.
Take the over for the Colts. Everything on the over.
Then you got the Cowboys and Broncos. Interesting game here to a degree.
Yeah, I mean, to a degree. I mean, it's probably a pick-me game via the betting sites, but like to me, it's the Broncos. The defense is going to shut down that offense for the Cowboys. The question is, can the Broncos score enough? They did just put up 30.
Yep.
I'm taking Broncos.
That's fair.
At home, Mile High, yeah.
We do have some history with this game right here, Brandon. The Packers and Steelers.
Yes, sir.
Who do you got?
I got the Steelers. I got A-Rod against, quote-unquote, a revenge game against the Packers. I have A-Rod and the Steelers getting right.
Yeah.
So you were talking about the last time the Packers won in Pittsburgh was Week 12 of 1970 when their quarterback was Brett Starr. Since then, Green Bay has lost 6 straight games in Pittsburgh.
Wow, they've only played them 6 times since 1970.
That's crazy. Since 1970, they played 6 times there.
There's no Rodgers and Favre couldn't get it done against the Steelers.
I wonder how many times they went and they were the starting quarterback that played there in those 6 times.
You're not wrong. So definitely some history there. Rodgers has got to try to keep the tradition going, but Jordan Love is trying to break this curse.
He's trying.
And then the Monday night game where Brandon and we will be in Kansas City for Monday Night Football against the Jalen Daniels Commanders, Chiefs Commanders, Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, it's the Chiefs. I mean, Daniels is out.
Daniels out. Like I said, we're going to be there. But those are the Week 8 matchups, man. The NFL season, we're at Week 8, man. We're on pretty much halfway point. We're at the halfway point, Week 8.
Yeah.
We're there. It's crazy to think. But like I said, we are going to be at the Commanders and Chiefs game this weekend. We might be live. So if you see us live, tune in. Talk to us. We'll see you guys next week.